right, I'd like to introduce Sarah Thompson. Give you a little background here. She's Senior Manager of PlayStation Mobile at Sony Computer Entertainment America, where she oversees and executes Sony's PlayStation Mobile content strategy and platform. Previously, she worked at mobile indie studio Iugo Mobile Entertainment, where she served as their spokesperson. She served on the developer relations teams at GRE International and received her business degree from Sheridan College. Here to present bringing meaningful gaming experiences to the mobile platform is Sarah Thompson. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hey everybody, can you hear me okay? Okay. Good afternoon, friends. Thank you for coming to my session. I appreciate you taking the time out of your crazy schedules. So, as he mentioned, my talk is about bringing meaningful experiences to mobile platforms. So, that's a pretty broad description and something that I'll be diving into and kind of drilling down into with reference to PlayStation Mobile specifically and how we're playing into this notion of a more meaningful experience on mobile devices. So just a little bit about myself specific to PlayStation Mobile. First of all, how many people know about PlayStation Mobile? Hands up. How many people are interested in or developing for PlayStation Mobile? A couple of you? Yeah. So we are a new platform. We are not even a year old yet. PlayStation is pretty new to the mobile space. And we're really in sort of the early phases of building out what we want to do or what we think is our fit within this space. So my official title is Mobile Content Acquisition. So, fancy words, what does that mean? Basically, what I get to do is travel around, talk to developers such as yourselves, talk to you about what kind of games you're doing, whether or not they seem like they're a good fit for our platform, and helping you onboard onto our platform, getting your games on our platform, and hopefully getting you featured and getting some support in different ways. So basically, I have the best job in the world. Or maybe this guy does, actually, some sort of tropical island model. Okay, so I have the next best job. And I'm really excited to be able to work with developers. I come from the indie world, so I know your pain. And it's a world that I love, and I hope I can help out you guys. So I will be available to chat with after this talk if you have any questions. So today we're going to talk about midcore. Yay! So I know some of you are kind of cringing at that word. I really don't have another word that I can use to describe this kind of gaming that has really become so huge over the past year. I think we're all familiar with it. It's a space that we as PlayStation are excited about because it's really starting to blur those lines between what we've been doing in console for so long and where a significant segment of mobile gamers are headed. So for the sake of clarity, because midcore means a lot of different things to different people, let me define or tell you how I'm defining midcore. So basically it's combining an immersive experience with casual gameplay. So what does that mean? That means a game that is going to be more story-driven, a game that is going to engage users for longer, but it's still going to really cater to the devices that people are playing on with touchscreens, something that they're able to pick up and play easily, something that really has that low barrier to entry and a low, the learning curve is not steep. I was hoping that the starburst might make it a little more acceptable, so that's all I got. That's the only artistic ability I have, so sorry. So what I want to start, where I would like to start with this is kind of start with the basics. These are not major revelations I'm going to make in the next slide, but I want to kind of set the tone of how we're looking at the space and what we're seeing as far as mid-core gaming goes these days. So of course we have Android and iOS. We have the two leading platforms, and on the one side with Android, this is the top 15, I think. Yes, top 15. The other one is the top 32. And I just wanted to take a cross-section of these storefronts and take a look at how many mid-core games are we seeing right now. And this shifts. I mean, I think this actually was, when I actually constructed this presentation, this is a few weeks old, and so it's a little different now. But it gives the idea of how many mid-core style games are we seeing in the top grossing these days? So right now in Android, we see 40% of the top 15 is being taken up by mid-core style games. Right now, Apple's at around 38. So they're pretty much the same, and that can fluctuate. At times, I've seen it over half. So we're seeing this significant, real presence of mid-core style games. And this has really changed over the past year to year and a half. A year and a half ago, it was not like this. I'm sure we all remember that it was really more casually skewed, and that this is a really interesting time for these platforms that have now been around for a few years, and they're starting to mature, right? This is the maturity of the gamers. These are the kinds of games they're starting to really gravitate towards, because while casual games, of course, will always be around, and there will always be a need for that short, quick reward style game, gamers on these devices are starting to want more meaningful experiences. They want something that's going to pull them in and engage them for longer periods of time. So that's really exciting. And of course, free-to-play is really dominating this. I know that obviously Android is really based around the idea of free-to-play, and of course iOS as well. So this is something that, as a side note, actually PlayStation, on all of our platforms, we support free-to-play. A lot of people don't know that. It's been something we've kind of had under the radar for almost 2 years now, actually. And we're in the process of really building out those services to support those kinds of games, because it's clearly something that gamers want, and it's something that we think will also make sense on a console, on a handheld, and of course what we're doing in mobile as well. So this is taken from, these are a couple of charts and graphs that were taken from a really great article that was written by Newzoo. How many people actually read this article? It's Candy Crush versus Clash of Clans. Not many, okay. I highly recommend it if you want to Google it. Like I said, it's by a website called Newzoo. And it was comparing what's going on between two of the most popular games specific to iOS right now. So on the one hand, we have Candy Crush Saga. This is a game that everyone knows, pretty much everyone plays. It's certainly considered a more casual game, although I actually think it has some hardcore or mid-core tendencies to it. And that's the interesting thing about this space right now, is that we all love to sort of label things and put things into buckets, and I think we're seeing some interesting variations or hybrids of games borrowing hardcore features, or we're seeing hardcore behaviors in very casual games. I consider myself a hardcore Candy Crush Saga player. I play the crap out of that game. I play it for long sessions. I pride myself on what level I'm advancing to. So anyway, I digress. The great thing about this study was really drilling down into the player profiles of these two games. So on the first chart, we have Clash of Clans, which is predominantly male, no surprises there. And the age group is 21 to 35, which is sort of the main group. But clearly very, very strongly skewed to the male side. With Candy Crush Saga, it's skewed female. It's a little more balanced with the 60-40, and again, really not a lot of surprises there. But still interesting to see sort of the age demographics breaking out. And if you actually go and visit this article, you'll actually be able to read it, as opposed to right now. It's a little microscopic. And then if we take a look at what they did with this focus group, they actually sat down with this focus group and gave them 3 definitions of gamer types. They gave them a definition of what is a casual gamer, what's a definition of a mid-core gamer, and a hardcore gamer. So just for this reference sake, because we're talking about the mid-core group, let me give you the definition that they gave the focus group for mid-core. So the definition they gave was, I play games regularly, favoring immersive games. I do not spend great lengths of time gaming and don't spend a large amount of money on it. However, if I had more spare time, I would probably spend more time and money on games. So it's kind of that in-between group, And there was it's interesting to see how many people actually identified with that segment. So it's 44% for Clash of Clans and 31% for Candy Crush Saga actually consider themselves mid-core gamers. And then for us as PlayStation, the really interesting piece of information that they were able to question this group of people on was, what else are you playing? Where else are you playing? And so Clash of Clans, 93% of that group, that segment, plays other games on their main entertainment device, i.e. TV. So that's console, PC, that sort of thing. So that's significant crossover with our people who are already within our ecosystem. And then even Candy Crush Saga said 78%. So these were some pretty eye-opening statistics and gave us, as PlayStation, some real insight into what kind of gamers are playing the most popular mobile games and how that's going to relate to what we're trying to do within our ecosystem as a whole. So this was some pretty encouraging stats, and it was a really great article. So let's talk about what our research from our marketing team out of PlayStation found. And they did their own focus group testing specific to the PlayStation brand, what's going on in mobile from the perspective of a hardcore console gamer. So again, there's not a lot of major revelations here, but it's interesting to really take a look at both of the big pictures and how those are kind of working together and how they're correlating. So what our research is saying is our gaming community feel that mobile games are generally low quality. Typically the graphics aren't that great. Again, they're comparing this to console games. And really, mostly they're just time-wasting games. It's little games that you can pick up and play, and you're not spending a lot of time, and they're not super emotionally invested into it. They're not playing 40 hours of God of War, obviously, as opposed to a mobile game. And then what do our gamers, i.e. the PlayStation gamer, what do they want in a mobile game? And the reason why I have all of this highlighted in yellow, because these are points these are qualities that really embody what PlayStation is doing as a company and really 4 major opportunities that we have within the mobile gaming space. So they want the high quality graphics. They want story-driven experiences, which I thought was interesting because typically, in the past few years, a lot of mobile gamers really don't want anything too deep. They don't really want a big elaborate story. We're seeing that shift now. They're asking for that kind of game. And we've seen games performing well that have that story behind it. They want to be able to have the rewards and the achievements that they can compare with their friends. They can be competitive with their friends, something that they can show off. And this is actually not new. I mean, this is something that I think has driven gaming overall for many, many years. But it's still driving gaming. I think that's important, is that need, that desire to compete and to brag and show off is not going away. And really, a brand that they can identify with. There's a lot of people in the mobile gaming space right now who are new and that a lot of gamers don't trust, or they don't know what they stand for. They don't know what kind of experience they're delivering or what their profile is. So PlayStation is a long-time gaming brand. There's a definite association with quality experiences and something that we can deliver, and that it's really exciting that we can come into the space and start kind of carving that out and shaping that for our gamers who are asking for these things. So this is really creating a perfect storm right now for us. Although we are late to the game in mobile, it's something that we're excited about timing-wise, and really timing is everything, about the mid-core group kind of gaining this critical mass. This is something that is a group that is of significant size. It's not, I would not call it niche anymore. I think it's a segment that is clearly purchasing and investing their dollars into this kind of content that is really worthy of its own ecosystem. So that's kind of a cool thing. And iOS and Android, while they are amazing ecosystems, they're really everything in the kitchen sink. And I think every one of you struggles with discoverability in those storefronts. It's a red ocean. So let me connect the dots here for you. We have gamers who want deeper mobile experiences. Mid-core is growing very quickly, and I don't think that that's going to slow down. I think it's going to build and build. PlayStation has this amazing know-how and heritage and real pedigree for these kind of richer experiences. So what does that equal? That equals what we're trying to do with PlayStation Mobile. And this is what we're working towards with our storefront. So to kind of drill down a little bit and give you an update as to what we're doing specific to PlayStation Mobile, as I mentioned, our storefront is still quite new. We're in the process of really evolving and building it. We have a ways to go. We're still quite modest with the amount of content we have and the user base we have, but we're seeing a real strong momentum building as we onboard these deeper, more immersive experiences. So what we wanted to do is really make this accessible, first of all, to developers, because without you, we're nothing. Your games is what drives our success. So that's something that we want to make as easy as possible for you guys. So we've actually made the SDK free. You can sign up, publish, launch your game entirely for free on our platform. You can just go to our developer portal, sign up now, and there's no cost to you. On the delivery side, in our storefront, we do have our own storefront on Android devices and the Vita. And what that means is that we have a much less crowded ecosystem. Right now, we're at almost 150 games. There's a lot of room for growth, but that means that you're competing with a fraction of the content. It allows you to come in early and really establish yourself as a company and your brand, and really relate to the gaming community and build their trust and get that loyal following. So that's exciting. And on the managed title front, the titles that we're actually partnering with and deliberately providing support, whether that be selective funding or robust co-marketing, we're doing a lot of amazing features for our developers, beyond banners. I mean, banners are powerful, and that's something that every developer wants, and we give them that. We have blog posts, we have podcasts, we have featuring and demos in our gigantic PlayStation booths at all of the major conventions. We have kiosk demos. We've run game jams where we've been able to really foster the student community and the new developer community. So there's a lot of really cool things we're doing to help support and provide that added marketing discoverability. And really, as a platform, we are growing. Probably one of our biggest challenges that we have is accessibility. It's all about volume. That's why we're in mobile, is to try to hit as many people as we can. And that's something that we're really prioritizing and growing all the time with new device partnerships. So I just wanted to give you some examples of how we as a company are actually trying to live up to this notion of creating an ecosystem that caters towards more immersive, richer, meaningful experiences on mobile. So here's some examples of some games that we have very deliberately onboarded onto our platform, whether it be marketing or funding. So Rim Capsule is a really amazing strategy game set in space. The average session length of Rim Capsule is about 45 minutes. So, and it's amazing. It's one of my favorite games. And you just get sucked into it, and it doesn't feel awkward. It actually works beautifully. Graphically, it's a very minimalist game, but strategically, it's a very in-depth game. Gun Commando is a really great-looking 3D FPS, and so that's something that really resonates with our gamers. Tokyo Jungle, if anyone's familiar with that game on the console, which was the big breakout indie hit, we actually did a mobile version, and it's really good. And again, it's very long gaming sessions. It's something that people are loving. It's great to have a mobile spin-off, and it was tailored to mobile devices. It wasn't just picked up and dropped onto a mobile device. It's actually a custom tailored experience for mobile. It looks great. Super Crate Box was one of our launch titles. It's a platformer, but it's really tricky. It's very challenging, and it's been one of our most popular games. Coming up, some of our titles that we have launching later this year. We have Sully, which is a very serious RPG. And it's a great little game. This is by Bread Brothers. They're a fantastic developer, actually. They're local. And it harkens back to the 8-bit era of RPGs, and it's going to be one of those games that you're going to want to play for, at least an hour. So this is something we think our gaming community is going to be really excited about. Treachery and Beatdown City. This is a really cool game. This game is taking elements of a brawler and an RPG and really mashing them together in a compelling and unique way. So it's a pretty quirky game, and we think it's going to be really well received. It's going to be a great sort of indie showcase title for us, and something that we're proud to bring onto the platform as well. So let me just put a pin in this for you. So to kind of sum up what I've been trying to say to all of you and explain what we're doing as PlayStation in the space is that as the mid-core segment really grows and the platforms start converging, what I mean by that is that we have a mobile element to the PS4 that will be launching later this year. And this is something that we want to serve gamers no matter what platform they are. If they're looking for a deeper experience on their console, on their handheld, or on their mobile device, this is something that we as a company, we can meet all of those needs. And as time goes on, and as we progress and age and mature as a platform, I see that we will be really breaking down those barriers and converging what we're doing on all these platforms and becoming really platform agnostic. And just being able to provide a PlayStation branded experience no matter where you are. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Do we have questions?
I answered them all.
Well, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
You focused a lot on mid-core, but some people out there might be here with casual games because this is Casual Connect. So are other categories, are you looking at other categories?
Yeah, I think as I was alluding to earlier, I think that there are casual games that would be considered casual that have sort of mid-core to hardcore elements in it that would do well simply because they're very well designed games, or the quality level is there and the engagement level is there. So, I could see something like a Candy Crush Saga made for that community, something that maybe makes it a little more immersive, do really well. So I think that's our main focus. There's room for experimentation. There's room for hybrids in there. So absolutely.
Okay. Good to know. Any other questions?
Actually, one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention throughout my talk is Unity. So Unity is actually something, we struck a multi-platform deal with Unity earlier this year, and it will in fact support PlayStation Mobile. And I think this is going to be key with a lot of mobile developers who clearly use that technology. And this is actually going to really help us move towards that deeper, more immersive gaming experience as we evolve as a platform. So timing-wise, this is something that we have some time to work with. If you have a Unity game that fits within this vision that you're interested in bringing